The shadow of the Zodiac killer has loomed over Northern California for over 50 years, a phantom etched into the annals of true crime. His chilling pronouncements, his chillingly precise murders, and his maddeningly cryptic messages have fueled a relentless pursuit of justice, a desperate hope for answers that have, for so long, remained just out of reach. Yet, in a development that has sent ripples of excitement and renewed intrigue through the true crime community, a decades-old enigma, a puzzle box of terror, has finally begun to yield its secrets. The FBI has confirmed that the Zodiac killer's infamous 340 cipher has been cracked, a breakthrough that, while not unmasking the killer himself, represents a monumental leap forward in understanding the mind of one of America's most elusive and terrifying serial offenders. The story of the Zodiac killer is a grim tapestry woven with threads of brutal violence, audacious taunting, and an almost supernatural ability to evade capture. His reign of terror began in the late 1960s, leaving a trail of terrified citizens and baffled law enforcement in his wake. While he is officially linked to at least 5 murders between December 1968 and October 1969, the killer himself claimed responsibility for far more, boasting of 37 victims in his chilling correspondence. The victims, ordinary people caught in extraordinary circumstances, became unwilling participants in his macabre game. There was the young couple, Betty Lou Jensen, a vibrant 17-year-old with dreams of becoming a nurse, her life tragically cut short before she could even begin to fulfill them, and David Faraday, 18, a promising student and athlete, whose future was stolen in an instant. Their lives were brutally cut short on a deserted lover's lane in Benicia, a secluded spot that would forever be stained by unspeakable violence on the night of December 20th, 1968. The air, crisp and cold, would have carried the distant sounds of crickets, a stark contrast to the sudden eruption of terror. Benicia, a quiet waterfront city across the Carquinez Strait from Martinez, was a place where young couples sought privacy away from prying eyes, a naive trust in the surrounding darkness that would prove tragically misplaced. Investigators meticulously combed the scene, their flashlights cutting through the inky blackness, searching for any trace of the perpetrator, any clue that might explain the unfathomable violence. Every fallen leaf, every scuff mark, was scrutinized with an intensity born of desperation, the silence of the night amplifying the dread of what had transpired. Then came the brutal stabbing of Darlene Ferrin, a 22-year-old waitress with a bright smile and a love for dancing, her laughter silenced forever, and the near-fatal assault on Michael Mageau, a 19-year-old who would survive to recount the horror of that night at Blue Rock Springs on July 4, 1969. The moon, perhaps hidden behind clouds, would have offered little illumination as their car was accosted, the darkness amplifying the assailant's ferocity. Blue Rock Springs, nestled in the hills above Vallejo, a city known for its naval shipyard and working-class roots, offered another secluded haven, a place where fireworks might have masked the screams. The crackle of distant fireworks, a celebratory sound, would have been a cruel counterpoint to the terror unfolding in the shadows, the smell of gunpowder mingling with the scent of fear. The following month, on September 27, 1969, Cecilia Shepard, an aspiring artist, her canvases now tragically empty, and Brian Hartnell, a college student, narrowly escaped death, though Cecilia would later succumb to her grievous wounds. Their idyllic afternoon picnic at the serene Lake Herman, a picturesque spot known for its natural beauty, was shattered by a masked assailant wielding a knife, transforming a scene of tranquility into one of primal fear and bloodshed. Lake Herman Park, a popular recreation area for families and couples in Benicia, became a scene of unimaginable horror, the placid waters reflecting a dark act that would forever tarnish its serenity. The vibrant greens of the park, the gentle lapping of the water, all became a stark, haunting backdrop to a brutal intrusion. And finally, the cold-blooded murder of taxi driver Paul Stein, a 40-year-old father and veteran, a man simply trying to make a living, in the heart of San Francisco on October 11, 1969, a crime that brought the killer directly into the bustling urban landscape and cemented his terrifying notoriety. The city, usually alive with the hum of activity, would have held its breath as the audacious act unfolded, a chilling reminder that no place was truly safe. San Francisco, with its iconic cable cars and fog-draped hills, became the stage for a chilling act of defiance. A bold move that detectives, overwhelmed by the mounting caseload and the killer's elusive nature, struggled to connect the dots, each crime scene yielding fragments of a terrifying puzzle. The sheer volume of unanswered questions weighed heavily on the investigators, each dead end a fresh blow to their resolve. But the Zodiac's violence was only one facet of his sinister persona. He was also a master manipulator, a self-proclaimed intellectual who reveled in the fear and confusion he sowed. He communicated with the press and law enforcement through a series of taunting letters, often filled with riddles and, most famously, complex ciphers. These coded messages were not mere boasts. They were presented as keys, as invitations to a game of wits, a twisted challenge to those trying to bring him to justice. The most notorious of these was the 340 cipher, a 340-character string of symbols that appeared in a letter to the San Francisco Chronicle in November 1969. This cryptic message, a bewildering array of inverted crosses, circles with diagonals, and other enigmatic symbols, appeared in a letter postmarked from San Francisco, arriving just weeks after the murder of Paul Stine. For over 50 years, this cryptic message remained stubbornly undeciphered, a silent testament to the killer's perceived brilliance and the frustration of investigators. It was a puzzle that taunted, a dark secret held captive within a string of symbols, fueling endless speculation and desperate attempts at decryption. The letters themselves painted a picture of a disturbed mind, one that saw his victims as objects in his grand, terrifying design. The San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald all received correspondence, each letter a fresh wave of dread washing over the already terrified populace. The sheer audacity of these communications, delivered through the Postal Service, underscored the killer's boldness and his seemingly effortless ability to operate in plain sight. Analysts and cryptographers, from seasoned professionals to dedicated amateurs, dedicated countless hours to these puzzles, their offices cluttered with papers and their minds consumed by the Zodiac's twisted logic. The sheer effort involved in breaking these codes, in attempting to understand a mind so alien, became an obsession for many. The passage of time did little to diminish the allure and terror of the Zodiac case. The unsolved nature of the crimes, coupled with the killer's continued silence and the absence of any definitive identification, allowed the legend to grow. Amateur sleuths, armchair detectives, and seasoned investigators alike continued to pore over the evidence, convinced that the key to unlocking the mystery lay hidden within the killer's own words, or within the symbols he so meticulously crafted. The 340 cipher became a symbol of this enduring mystery, a digital ghost in the machine of true crime, representing the ultimate challenge. The hope that it held a vital clue, a confession, or even the killer's name, never truly faded. The sheer audacity of the crimes, coupled with the killer's chilling taunts, created a vacuum of fear that has persisted for generations. The community, particularly in the affected areas of Vallejo, Benicia, and San Francisco, lived with a pervasive sense of unease, a lingering question mark hanging over the seemingly ordinary. This recent breakthrough, the cracking of the 340 cipher, has reignited that hope, offering a tantalizing glimpse into the killer's psyche and perhaps, just perhaps, a step closer to finally closing this dark chapter of California's history.